So good morning and welcome along to Eclipse Motorcycles. Today another test ride for another customer. This one, Lexmoto, Michigan, the cruiser type. Absolutely love this bike to pieces. Those nice footboards on it. And this one is in what they call the industrial grey. But it is a silver bike. Just have a quick walk around the bike. LED indicators to the front. Nice high bars on that with those nice wide mirrors. And then walking around that nice black silencer just to the side of the bike. Ignition key on this is just to the right of the front of the tank, so slightly different position for the key. Very Harley-esque on this one. Now just to change it up a little bit, we've put it on the side stand, and sitting on that side stand it does have that big cruiser bike look on it. Nice deep seat on this one as well, so it's a very low seating height, so if you happen to be a short-legged rider or a female rider, then possibly this is the bike for you. Individual suspension to the rear on the bike, so twin suspension to the back, so not a single shocker on this one. And you've got a nice wide tyre to the rear of the bike as well, so very grippy. Now obviously a lot of people have commented about the number plate being high on the back of this bike. Why isn't it down the back on the bottom of the mudguard? It actually suits that bike, actually having the plate up higher. Obviously the only issue is throwing your leg over it. Must make sure that you get your leg high, as you will catch your ankles on that plate. So we're just going to put the ignition on, fire up the dashboard. Now on this, speedo is around the top. On the outside you've got the kilometres, on the inside you've got your miles an hour. Very easy to see. 30 mile an hour, 11 o'clock, just past 12 o'clock is your 40, and then 1 o'clock is your 50, and then coming round to about 2 is the 60 mile an hour. Currently 2 miles on this bike, so we're just going to fire this one up. Off the button, fires up very well. Do like the ride position on this, those nice high bars, gets your hands up nice and wide. Mirrors on this, very wide. I've got hardly any shoulder at all in any of these mirrors, so very nice mirror position on this to see the traffic behind you. Right hand controls, you've got your engine kill switch. Just below that you've got your lights, but these are now permanently running lights on these. Start button just to the bottom. At the bottom of this on the left hand side, horn, indicators, main beam, dip beam, hazard switch on this one as well. 5-speed box, 1 down, 4 up, standard with all the Lexmotos, got a 5-speed box. And very comfortable with those footboards, or I call them running boards. I did have someone comment, he said running boards of cars. It's a board you put your foot on. Some people call it running boards, some people call it footboards. At the end of the day, it's not a peg, it is a board or a plate. Some people call them foot plates as well. Foot plate you would find on a train. At the end of the day, it's something you put your foot on, so whatever you call it, it doesn't really matter. So we're just waiting for the traffic to clear. And all comments greatly appreciated. So for the purpose of those that don't like calling them running boards or foot plates, they are footboards for today. So just bringing the speed up, 4th gear, then up into 5th. Nice digital display on this, so you've got your neutral that starts 1 2 3 4 5 across the bottom, and once again hand off. Very stable bike, holds a nice straight line on this. And the lever's absolutely perfect position on this one. So very comfortable with this low seat on it. Tucks your knees very nicely into the tank. So obviously I'm 5'10", 32 inside leg, but my knees are tucked in very nicely on this. Gearbox is absolutely super smooth on this one as well, as with all the Michigans and all the Lexmotos. We have had comments, people saying, oh, my Lexmoto is very clunky, I can't get it out of first gear when I pull up. That would probably be due to the fact that your clutch is not set up correctly. Make sure that you've got your biting point on your clutch absolutely perfect. What we tend to do, get it up to speed, and then just put the power on slightly, and just see what that bike would do. If it does slip, or if it's just a little bit too jerky, it's probably going to be your clutch position, or your clutch needs adjusting. Very nice wide mirrors. As I said, I've got the about half of the first lane and the outside lane in my mirror, and on the left one I've got a nice view of both lanes again behind me in that left hand mirror. So very, very easy to just visual check the traffic behind you. Now obviously I do like to do shoulder checks on mine. I never ever trust mirrors on a bike. So just sitting it around about the 42 mark, this bike does run away with you very, very quickly if you give it a little bit too much throttle. So it does pick the speed up very, very quickly. And obviously once you've had the first service on these, you can take them up to 50 mile an hour. And then once you get your second service out the way, full speed. So purposes of ride testing up to the first service, 40 mile an hour as stated in the Lexmoto handover book. And we've had people saying to me, yes, but it can go faster. Yes, it can. We had a bike in yesterday, and obviously that was handed over to a family member, and I did say to them, make sure that you go through all the pack on this, make sure that your brother goes through all the pack on this and obeys all the instructions that are given on this book. And obviously came in yesterday for a service, and the technician come in to me, said there's a lot of swarf in the bottom of the engine, not normally as much as what we've got on the first service. We had two in back to back, a ZSB and an Assault. And obviously ZSB, done the oil change, filter change and the PDI again on that one for the first service, full bolt check again, chain tension, absolutely spot on bike. Very, very minimal swarf in the bottom of the engine. Went to do the other bike, the Assault, and very, very swarfy. And I did actually say to the customer, how fast have you been going? Oh, about 60. No, you must slow it down, slow it down. There is a lot of swarf in the bottom of your bike, and it shows that you have been over speeding. So just ease it back a little bit. You can do 50 now, and he's didn't realise that. Yes, so do pay attention, because if you are going to take that bike straight up to top speed on a brand new engine, you are going to wear that engine away very, very quickly. So let the bike run in over those 1500 kilometers as Lexmoto tell you, and it's like a baby. It's got to learn to crawl, then to walk, then to run. So if you do take care of your engine nice and steady for the first 1500k, you're going to get a lot more miles out of that engine. If you're going to bang the thing straight up to 63 mile an hour or whatever you're going to get out of it, top whack, that engine's not going to last very long. So just take your time on the engine, and that is why, for the purposes of ride tests, same bit of dual carriageway, 40 mile an hour. But what I'm going to do today is switch the route up a little bit. So all of those that tend to watch my videos, oh god, he's going down the dual carriageway again. No, I'm going to I've done one bit of dual carriageway. We're now just going to go and do a little bit of urban. So we're going to change the route up a little bit and just see where we go. So even pulling away in third gear, low torque, and that engine does pull away very, very well. Corner's absolutely superb, especially with that big fat back tyre. And if you've seen previous videos, yes, the lights on the roundabout are still awaiting repair. And we're just going to try a few different routes this morning. So just pushing it into the corners, very, very nice. I'm going to stay in the outside lane because I'm taking the next right at the bottom, and I've got about 200 yards to go, so I'm just going to stay in the outside lane. Saves me moving around backwards and forwards. And then again, nice steady 42, 43. And just push it around a few more roundabouts just to bed these tyres in for the customer. And obviously I tend to rev match going through the gearbox, but it does change down very, very nicely if you're just going through that gearbox normally using no rev matching. Control functions on this very, very easy to get to the indicators, the horn, the lights. So very, very easy to manage off one thumb. As we're taking a slightly different view of Milton Keynes, and that is the EpicAdam Stadium just to my right, where they do a lot of the concerts now, a lot of the football matches. And there is also the bike show coming up in September there, where we shall be exhibiting just on that corner where it says EpicAdam. That is where our stand normally is for the Lexmoto bikes, so we will be exhibiting there the end of September, I believe. And it just so works out, the Sunday we do the exhibition, I'm away the next day on holiday, so I get a bit of a break from the garage, my week's holiday. So just working back into town. I'm just going to chop and change things up this morning, just get a few different routes in. But going through the roundabouts, as you would if you were on your route into town to do your shopping or go to work on one of these. But very, very easy to manage this bike through the slow speed corners. And this is a gorgeous little bike. Does what it says on the tin every time. So if you're into a Michigan, you like the cruiser look, these currently at $16,499 or $16.50 with that penny taken off. On the road fees, all in at $1,840, so quite a bit under £2,000. You've got yourself a nice little runaround for the money. And this has got a very, very good presence. People do stop to look at this to wonder what it is. And obviously I was a great fan of the Rangers that were very, very similar. And the Rangers are still going. You still see them sort of second hand on the pages, up for sale. And I would say if you can get hold of a Ranger or get hold of a Michigan, these bikes are absolutely beautiful. Obviously aware of the car coming down my outside. Nice big wide mirror is picking up that car. This bike just rolls through those corners. And to just make you aware, obviously Lexmoto have their own rider, that is Dan. And Dan tends to do a lot of rides on the new bikes. And there was a comment, I was watching one of Dan's videos a couple of days ago. He's done a ride test on the new Aura. Now obviously from Dan's point of view, he goes out, he takes you all round the bike. This is the bike, this is the seat height, this is the length of the bike, this is the width of the bike. This is how much the tank holds. This is what you will get for the gallon, this is the horsepower, these are the kilowatts. He tends to do it from a very, very corporate side of the business. So he will tell you all about the bike. He'll then take it out, do a ride. And we did have a comment on his YouTube feed. Someone said, can't you just stop the corporate spiel, sell, 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 and just talk about riding the bike? That is what Lexmoto do. They are telling you about the bike, telling you what the seat height is. They are telling you all the details of that bike. It's up to obviously the bloggers like me and Spicy 110 to then go out and do it from a customer's point of view. But Dan tends to do his from the Lexmoto side, where they are telling you about the bike, they're showing you the bike. And if that bike is for you, then go to the dealers, you know. Each blogger or each vlogger has his own style. Now obviously I just tend to ride as if Joe Public is riding, and my ride tests are for the purpose of customers to see their bike being ridden. Whereas Spicy, you'll take a bike out, he will absolutely run that thing to its maximum potential, sometimes take it green laning, chuck it down all the back roads, chuck it all down the twisties. So Spicy does a totally different thing again. Each vlogger does his own style of vlogging. So if you don't like what you see, go and watch another video. You know, we do it for the love of riding these bikes. We don't get paid for doing these. We do it in our own time. We give up you know, our time, our hours at work, just to go out and ride these for customers. I don't receive any benefits for this. The purpose of me doing it is obviously to show the customer, and I enjoy what I do. I'm very passionate about my job. But there is always that like, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, but most of us don't really care. If you do give it a thumbs down, you know, it's for the benefit of the customer. If you don't like what you see, move on. And we do get the odd comment, you know, oh, waffling on, you sound like Kenny from South Park, I can't hear what you're saying. Everybody else can hear what I'm saying. Perhaps you'll need to turn your hearing aid up then, or get yourself a better laptop with a decent set of speakers. Most people can understand what I'm telling you about the bike. So currently 14 miles in, and we're going to roll a few more miles on the bike, and then I'll cut back in when we're on the urban route, guys. So I'll catch up with you shortly. So we're just coming back on the final part of the mileage, up and down the hills, and a little bit of dual carriageway and some urban route on this one. So we've got 29 on the bike at the moment, and ignore what I said about 14 miles, actually 14k that we've got on. My clock is set in kilometres, so if you understand how to work out k's to miles an hour, 29k on the bike at the moment. We're looking to get 32, which is going to be 20 miles. Here times it by 1.2. So 20 miles on the bike nearly. Absolutely zero issues on this little Michigan for our customer. He's going to be getting a phone call this morning to say bike has ridden fine. I have one final set of PDI bolt checks to do, one final QC, one final ride. So we do everything twice on these bikes. So initial PDI, QC and bolt check by the senior tech, ride test for me for 20 miles, comes back in, one final bolt check, and then I do the final QC and the final ride test. I normally put about another 2 miles on the bike, and the bike does not go out until I give it the thumbs up and the approval. So I absolutely ride these to the max, check everything out, make sure every bike is absolutely spot on for the customer before I decide to release the bike. Now we have had people saying, oh, but I'm having to wait 3 weeks for a bike. Unfortunately, due to the amount of bikes that we've got coming through and the fact that we only have 3 members of staff, it is taking us a little bit longer to get bikes out. We normally do 14 days. That allows us enough time if there is repairs needed to get a repair done and get parts ordered in. Most dealers can normally ship a bike out. Some do it in a couple of days. How you can do that in a couple of days, guys? That's going to be a quick bolt check, 2 mile down the road. And if it's got a repair, oh, well, you're going to have to wait. But some people say 2 days, some people say 6 days. We do 14. Every bike dealer is different how they do their PDI. So if you are thinking of buying a bike, obviously check it out, make sure you know what is going on. But that's the Lexmoto Michigan, just making my way back to Eclipse now. And until the next ride, guys, be well, ride safe, and from RB, it's a big goodbye from me, and we'll see you on the next video.